And welcome and good morning, everybody. Let me start the screen share. Good morning and welcome to, I didn't change the date. I am an idiot. Oh well, guess what? It was all the particulates in the air.
$10.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll get there. So Joyce, will you please lead us in the pledge?
Oh, okay, so let's stand as we can, and as we pledge allegiance to this beautiful country, let us think of a little prayer for her soul. So the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag,
flag,
United States of America,
to the republic
for which it stands,
nation under God,
nation under God,
Be able to join the
liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Joyce.
Oh, okay. Had a little
And
prep to
Brian
do, huh?
Purcell.
All right.
Yes. Can you hear me?
You got
Okay.
something to give us,
Well,
stimulating,
looking forward to
wonderful,
seeing you on the meeting.
uplifting.
Just wanted to make sure you didn't run into any snags.
Michael?
Cook, you're live.
So I have a quote from Bob Woodward. Our president did 18 recorded interviews with Bob. And Bob did something he's never done before. He actually made a judgment about the person he wrote a book about, the book Rage. And his final conclusion was Trump is the wrong man for the job. No big surprise.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, but grimacing while I'm saying it.
Yes.
So wave to everybody. Good morning, everybody. Oh, come on.
Good morning. Good morning.
No, we've waved enough. Joe, do we have a song today?
Hey, good morning, President Barbara.
In another life.
Again, here we are, gazing out my window to the beautiful fog. The air quality is much better. Things for us are getting back to whatever the new normal was. And what we haven't done in a while, because it's a pretty nice morning out there, is, oh, what a beautiful morning. What do you think?
Yes. Good.
Okay, here we go. There's a bright haze on the meadow. There's a bright haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as the 4th of July. And it looks like time to peer up through the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way.
Whoops. So good morning. Thank you. We have a couple of Cyber Rotarians with us. From the Rotary Club of Santa Rosa, first we have Mary Graves. Then also from the Rotary Club of Santa Rosa, we have our esteemed District Governor, Doug Johnson.
Morning, Doug.
And I just went absolutely friggin' blank. Oh, from the Rotary Club of Sebastopol, Jack Blasco, our Assistant Governor.
Morning, Jack.
Morning, Jack.
So, is there anybody else?
Morning, everybody.
Nobody else?
Yes.
No more Cyber Rotarians?
Mary.
Are you calling for introduction of guests?
Now we're calling for guests.
Oh.
Is Amal
Okay.
with us?
So I would like to introduce my
There you
guest,
are.
Amal
Yes.
Ahmed. Hi, Amal.
Hi, Amal.
Hello, Amal. Nice
Amal
to see you.
is
Welcome.
Amal is the president of the Sonoma State University Rotaract alum. She went to SSU and graduated, and she's now a social worker in Santa Rosa. And she's been on Rotary missions. She's been to Rotary International Conferences with Michael Cook, helping in the telemedicine booth. And I'm just so happy that we have a Rotaractor that is looking at Rotary clubs and may consider joining. So hi, Amal. Thank you for coming.
Welcome.
Hi, Mall.
Nice to
Good
see
morning,
you.
Hey, welcome.
everybody. Hi. Thank you, Mary, for that wonderful introduction. I've been looking for a Rotary Club to join for a bit that works with my work schedule. I work for Interfaith Shelter Network. If anybody knows that, we're a really small nonprofit here in Santa Rosa. I actually work in the probation department. I run all the AB 109 probation transitional houses here in Santa Rosa. So I've been, really involved, and I want to still give back on my own personal time. So I thought, what better way than to join a Rotary Club?
Great.
Girl.
Thank you. We're glad you're with us and
Thank you.
hope you'll consider us.
Yeah.
So again, there are no strangers in Rotary, as you know them all. So today, after this meeting, we will be doing the Zoom workshop with Michael Cook. And I was talking with Michael, and he has some points that he's going to cover. But more than anything, bring your questions. So when this meeting is finished, I'll stop the recording for this meeting, and then I will start a new recording for the Zoom workshop so that we will have that up as a separate recording on our website. And we will all get to be Zoom superstars sooner or later.
Yeah.
So yes, now I gotta do the mute all and then unmute yourselves. There we go. And we have one birthday this week, and that's Janine Cook. So Michael, you can unmute yourself.
Yes.
There we go. What wonderful celebration will you be having for Janine on, it's Saturday? No. Oops, I have the wrong month up on my Saturday. What will you be doing to celebrate?
Well, the jury's still out. Janine is one of those folks who does not like surprises, so it's not like a secret that we're working on a plan. So probably involve our son, Andrew, who lives not far away.
Good,
So it's in the works.
good. Does it involve cake?
Yeah, actually, I have a favorite chocolate cake, and I figured out I could make a half recipe because I got the pans that are just the right size. So that will be on the list.
That sounds like a good plan. So we have no anniversaries this week, no Rotary anniversaries. It's like, oh well. But we do have several things happening. The first of is on Monday evening is our regular board meeting. The link is in the members only if any member wants to attend. And then next Wednesday, we will have the work day at the food bank from 10 to 1. And you should have received an email with a link that you can click on to sign up. They have their own volunteer scheduling, so.
I think the link is on our website, but I don't believe that a letter or an email has gone out. If we could get one out, that would be great.
Okay, because I got one that you sent out after the meeting last week.
I sent that to you.
Oh, you just sent it to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it. I thought you'd send it to everybody.
No.
Okay. Well, then we'll get that out to everybody.
I just
I
want to
apologize.
I just want to assure everybody that they are really taking our safety into great consideration as we're doing this. We'll be working outside, lots of ventilation, lots of separation. I think it's going to be a very safe situation, and I'd really like to see us get a good turnout for it.
Well, I know I've already signed up, so. Then the following Saturday on the 26th is World Cleanup Day. And the Noon Club, the Sebastopol Club, is going to be having a work day at at the Laguna Foundation, and they asked if any of our members might be interested in joining them. They have several things that they're going to do. I got an email last night from Cindy Carter, and I will send the information out to everybody. They only need 10 people because I guess that's the safe number. So, but I will send it out because it really sounds like another great opportunity to be outside and do something. Then of course we have the Zone Institute, and Doug, you might be able to help me on this. Kathy Flamson was originally scheduled for her district conference on October 24th. And I was wondering, do you have any news about, because I was thinking about putting that on here, but I wasn't sure what the status was. Do you have any news on that, Doug?
All I know is it still is scheduled for the 24th. It will be a virtual conference.
Okay.
That decision was made a little bit ago, and she's been working away on recording all the segments. So I would be expecting some sort of email announcement soon, but October 24th.
Okay, great. Because when I was working out the calendar here, I was thinking
I can add a little bit to that, Barbara, if you like.
Okay.
But it is going to be on the 24th. I think it's going to be between 4 and 5, if I remember correctly, and it's going to be followed immediately by a foundation celebration. So it's all gotten condensed.
Okay. Okay. Great. So that leads us into it's Rotary Foundation raffle time. Diana.
Yeah, here I am. Well, I've already started making out raffle tickets as such, and they are for sale. You can send in $100 or go to your My Rotary and click on donate and donate $100, and you will get 6 tickets. They are $20 a ticket, so you can buy one at a time if you please. I do not have access to what you have donated, so you need to let me know how much you've donated, and I will print up the tickets, and we will have a drawing probably on October 21st before the district conference. So that's the plan. And I already have tickets for Lori Darling and Bill Sauber. They've let me know that they've donated. And so I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you if possible. And I want to thank you.
Yeah, and I tapped Lori because she is the hoarder of all of the stuff for the silent auction that didn't happen. And we have these 2 baskets that whoever wins the drawing will choose which basket they want. Normally, you know, at the foundation dinner, we would have all these wonderful baskets, but not happening this year. So yes, get your donations in and let Diana know. You can either send a check to her for the foundation, or you go to My Rotary and sign in on myrotary.org, because then it really does get to you. So the week in review, all I can say is, what a week. This is what we had last Wednesday. The picture on the right, at least it's my right, is Terry Kelly's backyard. And I think that's just about what it was. And then we have the old courthouse building.
Barbara, it's Marty. It reminded me of the Churchill movie where they have that fog that lasted in London.
Yes.
And, I mean, that's what I was thinking of that during the whole time.
Right. Well, then this is last night. And all I can say is, yes, I got to open the house up. I mean, thank goodness we didn't have hot weather. So I just wanted to start out with, how are we all doing?
Would you please not send the smoke up to Nevada?
You know,
You got us.
You got it. Yeah, I know Steve is up in Idaho. He and our son did some backpacking in the Sawtooth, and they went up with clear air and they came back, and even there in the Boise area in Caldwell, Treasure Valley, they are starting to get the smoke. And our son had to drive home to Olympia through that plus 500 stuff. So.
Barbara?
Yeah.
I talked to a friend of mine in Vermont yesterday, and they've got smoke there from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And up at Incline Village, it was the air was so hot. I mean, it was over on that index that it was completely unsafe, according to the information I looked at, because it hung in that Lake Tahoe basin. So it's probably worse than Reno.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, Marty.
Did someone say it's on the East Coast in Vermont?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. In Vermont.
And I have news that was in Connecticut, in Norwich, Connecticut, from my cousin. They're getting it now too.
Yeah.
It was so dark out here that the turkeys didn't come out of the trees until about 11 a.m. that morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had the lights on here in the house until almost noon because it was too dark.
Well, the animals didn't know what time it was. It was here. I just was happy the first morning the birds started making noise in the morning.
Yeah.
We just pretended it was a solar eclipse.
Well, Marianne and I were out in.
But you couldn't take any good pictures.
Marianne and I were out on Monterey Bay doing some whale watching on Wednesday.
Right.
And once you got offshore, you couldn't see the land. That was partly fog, but a lot of smoke, and you couldn't find the sun. So I had no idea where we were on the boat other than the two whales that were playing with us.
Wow.
So how'd that go? Did you see whales?
Well, say that again?
Did you see whales?
Yes. We saw, unfortunately, only two. It was a mother and a calf, but they liked us. So they were playing around. They were logging, which meant they just lay on the surface a little bit. And they just sort of went under the boat and around the boat, and the calf wasn't little. I mean, come on, these are huge monsters, beans, but it was twirling in the kelp, and it stayed with us about 40 minutes.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
But then it was hard to find others because you could only see so far out.
Right.
Combination of fog and smoke.
Right. Right.
It's soupy wet at the coast today, which is great.
Yep. Well, now we have, looking out my window here, it's just good old fog. And yesterday afternoon, late afternoon, it was so nice to look outside and see actual blue sky. So how's everybody else doing?
Hanging in there.
So we have weekly announcements, and we have two committees that held meetings. So Al, your membership committee held a meeting. Why don't you give us a little quick report, please?
Well, yeah, good morning, everyone. Let's see. Well, the big news, we're bringing back First Friday.
Woohoo!
So get your glass of wine out, get your bottle of beer, get your water, get whatever you want, and a snack, and make everyone else envious of what you've got in front of you. So enjoy, so that should be fun. We're going to start out probably just as one large group, and depending upon how many people show up, we're going to hopefully evolve into breakout groups, meaning that, it's kind of like you could go table to table like we do at a normal meeting, and stop in and say hello to whatever groups people go to. So that's in the plan. We're just starting up with these ideas, and I think we're going to try to get it going on for next month. So we're working with Bill Schlutius from the club services along with membership, and we're trying to put that together. And then we do have on November 11th, which is also Veterans Day, we're going to have a homecoming. we've done that in previous years where we invite all the previous members of the club to come and join us. It's been a really nice thing to do when we were doing it live, and we're hoping that that will bring some enthusiasm. Maybe some past members might have some interest in joining again, and we're also going to. I've got to talk to Charlie, who does the speakers, to incorporate some veterans as part of the program, and there'll be a surprise there too that I'm not going to share. You'll find out what happens if you're there. So be there or be square.
Great, thank you, Al. And Michael McLaughlin, you had a community services meeting. Why don't you give us a quick recap for that?
Yeah, we basically just went over the programs that we're still involved with. Our biggest thing coming up, of course, being the volunteering for the Redwood Area Food Bank next Wednesday on the 23rd, and then again on the 16th of October. One of the things that we talk about is continuing support for our community foundation. And again, we're requesting that people send the money that they would have spent coming to breakfast, send that into to the community foundation so that we have some money to work with as the year goes on. We talked a little bit about the Christmas dinner, and that's looking like it's further and further in the distance, probably next Christmas, not this Christmas, if then. So that one's going to be on hold for a while. The food program, the lunch program that Jim Glom is coordinating with the community church, Christian church, is still going full guns. And in fact, they have enlisted the help of some other organizations, and they're now doing about 140 sack lunches every single week. So we should feel good that we're continuing to have that program going on. And that's really about all we talked about.
Great. I want everybody to know that you are really all members of the community service. And if you have an idea, if you see a need, please bring it to the community services committee, and maybe we can see what maybe our club can do about it. If you're out in the community and you see something or you hear something or you talk to somebody, please, that's how we are going to be able to find ways that we can help our neighbors, because basically that's what we're doing, is we're helping our neighbors. And the same thing with membership. We all know that. You've heard that before. So happy bucks. And I'm going to start out because I have couple of really big happy bucks. The first is I finally was able to get a haircut. Yay! My hairdresser, I had to do it in the evening because that's just with the restrictions how the timing had to work.
Did you go with Nancy Pelosi?
She's sneaking around.
No. The other part is, I mentioned that my husband's up in Idaho. Now his mother, his 96-year-old mother, is in memory care up there, and her facility has been on absolute tight lockdown. They had one small COVID outbreak that was resolved, and they have had no more, and so nobody was being allowed in, but he was allowed in not yesterday, the day before, Monday, and he actually got to touch his mother, and she recognized him and said his name, and it was just made the whole trip worthwhile. So I have big happy bucks for that, because that's been, as all of you know who've had parents and other relatives, that physical contact is so important for them. So I have some big happy bucks for that, and I'll get a check to Jerry. So anybody else have any happy bucks? I think somebody said something about Michael McLaughlin having big happy bucks.
Yeah, Nick outed me, so I'll be happy to send in some happy bucks for kicking his butt yesterday.
Yay! So were you both below triple digits?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Oh, yes.
Significantly.
Yep.
Miniature golf.
He hit the clown.
Ah.
And 99 doesn't count, Michael.
So anybody else have happy bucks?
So I have in my hands here, Barbara,
Okay.
the refund from ABC from the canceled event last March. So I'll get that over to Jerry, and you can wipe it off the books.
Great. And we got the refund from the county of Sonoma.
Oh, we did.
Yes, $645 on that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
Good going.
I have happy bucks.
Okay.
Let's see. I got an assistant, another carpenter, to help me on work on this this very, very old cabin that's on my property. That was probably, there's no history of it. No one out here has any history of it, except it was built from the first cut of logs.
Wow.
So the exterior is, all rounded over like you'd see a log cabin. The interior, because it was falling apart and the roof was leaking so bad, we had to do some reframing, and discovered that all the framing there was also made from the first cut of the log, which means there was hardly any strength to it at all. It was half bark.
Wow.
And that's how all the framing was. So anyhow, it just goes to show that even with some of the poorest materials, some structures will still stay up after over 100 years.
Yeah.
So it leaked like a sieve, and we're almost done with repairing it, at least at the roof now, so I could keep storing some of my junk. So I'll give some happy bucks for that story.
Thank
Good
you.
Good story, Al. I plan to
Yeah.
be like that when about 30 years from now. Leaking severely and built of bad materials.
Are you going to
Covered
need
in
a
bark.
bark too?
It's hard to be really happy if you can't be sad. So a difficult note for somebody who has an association with the club. A young woman named Chiara, who is from Italy, did a Rotary Youth Exchange short term with a young woman named Callie Harden here. And she has, she's about 20 now and developed lymphoma, just like me, and is moved to a hospital in Rome and is going to begin her saga through all of those things, doing whatever is necessary. Her spirits are good, her family's around her. I've sent a link to a book that I have, and if any of you have a pencil and you know somebody with cancer, I can heartily recommend The Cancer Fighting Kitchen by Rachel Katz. It's a perfect book for making good food and food that is palatable even to somebody whose tastes have altered in strange ways, so that eggs taste like Robitussin, that sort of thing. They've got hacks to fix it back. So I'm going to put in some happy sad bucks. I'll be happy because I can be sad.
Great. Thank you. Anybody else? Quickly?
Yeah, I have something.
Yes, Linton.
Well, David, it's interesting you said that. I'm happy about something that's been very sad. I've known some teachers who, at the end of every day, just crying. It's a hard time for teachers, especially of young kids.
Yes.
And there's a wonderful teacher, Gina Graziano, who teaches in Forestville, who came up with something called Ms. G's Musiclandia. And it's to Beyonce's song called Bigger. And it's about you're part of something bigger. And it's gorgeous. It's just beautiful. So I'm gonna put the link in the chat if anybody wants to see it. And that's my happy bucks, because she's bringing a lot of happiness as best she can.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well then, guess what? Let's see, what do we have here in chat? Oh, yes. Okay, chat. Got that. Then we have our speaker. Our program today is our esteemed district governor, and Jack Blasco, who is our assistant governor, will handle the introductions. And I will unshare Okay, stop share. There we go. So, Jack, please take it away.
Thank you, Barbara. Simply put, Doug Johnson is a Rotarian, just like you and me and everyone else in your local Rotary Club. His story begins back in Dedham, Massachusetts, a blue-collar neighborhood next to Boston. The lessons learned growing up in working middle-class America have profoundly shaped his character and value system. Doug knows that people come first. After attending American University in Washington, D.C. for some time, at age 21, life brought him to Santa Rosa, California, where he's lived since. One day in 2011, on a business appointment, he was asked about Rotary, and shortly thereafter joined the Rotary Club of Santa Rosa, and the journey began. He served as World Community Service Chair, Club President, Pet Sergeant at Arms, Zone Institute Guest, AG, and now District Governor for 2020 and 21. Doug feels blessed in so many ways. His 3 adult children all live locally, as do his 4 grandchildren. Family time together grows more meaningful every year. His oldest granddaughter, now 12, even got to run a Rotary meeting of the Santa Rosa Club when Doug served as president in 2015-16 and wants to know when she can join Rotary. I certainly hope she got to find Grandpa. Since 1986, Doug has worked at Kyocera Document Solutions and continues to work there full-time, even when serving as district governor. Kyocera Document Solutions provides the latest in business technology such as IT services, digital content management, print scan solutions, VoIP technology, and more. And you can tell Doug is a sales guy because he snuck that promo in there. Doug, this time it'll be $15 for that unabashed promotional message. Besides Rotary, Doug is active in his local church, serving as treasurer, and loves sports and travel, and still believes that the Red Sox will win the World Series again in our lifetimes. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a warm Sebastopol Sunrise welcome for our District Governor, Doug Johnson.
Hey. Welcome.
Thank you, Jack. Even with all that, I still call you friend. I wish I could be there this morning with you all. That's one of the great privileges of serving as your district governor, getting out to the clubs and meeting the people, the members, and really getting to understand the club culture and the programs you're doing. So I miss you here this morning. District governor visits this year through the end of the year will all be virtual. I'm hoping come the springtime that things may open up and I'll be able to circle back and visit with you in person on a hands-on project or a fundraiser or something. Met with the board last night, had a wonderful meeting. You've got some great leadership in your club, and it sounds like you're figuring things out. And that's really one of the themes of this year is let's figure this one out together. And it sounds like you really are. So you're in good hands there. I think to open, I'm going to go back 8 months to January of 2020, pre-COVID. And I was attending the last formal training that a district governor-elect goes through. It's called International Assembly. And if you speak with any past district governor, if you speak with Helene or Bruce, for example, they will tell you that International Assembly is one of the highlights of the journey. It's 1 week, it was in San Diego, and every district governor-elect from the whole world is required to attend. So that was, I think, 538 of us from over 200 countries. And the week is full of breakout sessions where you get to have informal discussions, big general sessions, socials. Many people dress in the cultural garb to their land, and you can have discussions with them on what is Rotary like in Asia or Africa or Europe, and what's similar and what's different. So it's just a great week. It opened up Monday morning, big general session in a large ballroom, about 1,200 people. So you had your district governor-elects and their partners and dignitaries. First speaker up was Mark Maloney. He was last year's Rotary International president, and he gave a welcome and chatted for a few minutes with us. And then came Holger Kanak. He's this year's Rotary International president. And this is the moment that everyone is waiting for. This is where the theme for the year gets announced. It's been kept total secret. It's like the Oscars where there's that envelope for the best picture and everyone's waiting to see what it's going to be. And he shares the theme. It's across all the big screens on the front of the room. Rotary opens opportunities, and everyone is clapping and cheering. It's a great theme. There's so much you can do with the word opportunities. America is the land of opportunity. And he spoke for a little bit. And then after him was John Huco. And John is the Secretary General of Rotary. Some would say the most powerful person, because RI presidents come and go, and John remains in Evanston guiding the ship. And he spoke. And as they were speaking that morning, I started noticing a theme. They were using words all in a similar vein. And so being a great student that I am, I took copious notes on the back of a business card. And these were the words I heard that morning: action, adapt, relevant, nimble, evolve, change, innovative, embrace change, modernizing, keep current, inventive, and flexible. Now that was 2 months pre-COVID. They were definitely sending a message. It was intentional. This is in January, that Rotary was at a place in its journey that we had to be able to change and embrace change to be relevant to a new generation. I think of a simple area of change in my life. You know, I have 3 adult children, all in their 30s. And I learned along the way that if I wanted to get a hold of one of them, I could not make a phone call because it would be a couple days before I got an answer, or send an email. But if I sent a text, I would get a response right away. And I even, after time, you get good at this, and now using all the shortcuts and the slang and emojis and everything, you're getting a hang of text. But that's a simple change that I learned I had to make if I wanted to communicate with my own children. You know, it's an area where just trying to be relevant to a younger generation. And that's just a very simple example. But that's where Rotary was at even in January. I left International Assembly, came back all excited with plans. 2 months later, we run right into COVID, closing down everything. And at that point in time, you know, they took away overnight, your breakfast meeting stopped. And that's a big thing, because for many people, that weekly fellowship time, having breakfast together with your friends, really family, is an important time. You know, fundraisers stopped, including yours. Projects like Youth Student Exchange stopped. And I could go on and on and on. The way we could do things before, overnight, was taken away from us. So I started thinking, like, well, what is Rotary? What do you have to have that it's Rotary, and if it's taken away, it's not Rotary anymore? And after thinking for a little bit, I came back to our core values. We don't talk about them much. We have the 4-way test, and we have the 5 avenues of service, and we have 6, now 7 areas of focus for global grants. We also have 5 core values, and they are fellowship, integrity, diversity, leadership, and service. So that's what makes us a Rotarian. If you take those away, we're no longer Rotary. And I would submit to you that they are more relevant today than ever. And the Rotary Club of Sebastopol Sunrise is more relevant and needed today than ever. You know, this is strange times. Those photos you had up are very indicative of it. We've got a pandemic on one side of us, and we've got wildfires on the other. And swirling around us, we have socio-political discord going on, regardless of what side you're on. This is a really turbulent time. People are wondering, you know, what does this stand for? What does that stand for? What I need meaning in life. And guess what? We're here. We have 5 core values. We know who we are, and we are ready to serve. And you are doing it. And I highly commend you, because Sebastopol needs you now more than ever. There are 2 great clubs in Sebastopol, and I'm thrilled when I hear about you working together. It's a great thing. And Sebastopol is there just ready and waiting for you to meet the needs of the community. So a couple thoughts I have here. First is, if you go back January, there are probably some listening right now that swore up and down they would never do video conferencing. had no desire to do that. And 2 months later, look at, you're all on Zoom, and 6 months later, now you're having Zoom training after this. I mean, so you've adapted, you've embraced new technology, so that's a great thing. The other thing I want to mention, and if you don't remember anything else today, this is probably the most important thing, is these are trying times. And regardless of how you view it, some people are excellent with going out to dinner and they have not a problem. And some people don't want to go to the supermarket, they're staying in their house. There's no right or wrong here. We have to respect everyone's viewpoint on this, but what we can do is we're family. If you don't see somebody for a week or two in these meetings, pick up the phone and call them. Say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Maybe they just want to talk. You know, we need to support each other. I don't know if this is going to be, we're already in 6 months. You know, if it's going to be another 6 months or a couple of years, no one knows. But what I do know is if we stick together as a family, the Rotary Club Sebastopol Sunrise, that we'll make it through this. We'll be fine. You know, so care for each other right now in this time. I think of a couple Darwin quotes I have for you. Charles Darwin. In the long history of humankind, those who learn to collaborate and improvise most effectively have prevailed. Collaborate and improvise, 2 things Rotarians do really well. You're collaborating with churches in the West County to deliver lunches. You're collaborating with Sebastopol Rotary on your district grant, which was approved, by the way. So you already are collaborating. It's a great thing. Second one, it is not the strongest of the species that survives, not the most intelligent. It is the one that is most adaptable to change. And we're having to learn how to adapt. You know, fundraisers are changing. The big mega fundraisers that we usually have, whether it's a meal or a crab feed or a golf tournament or a bike ride, whatever it is, you know, it does not look promising for this year. You know, so we're having to recreate how we're going to do fundraising. And maybe we talked about it that a little last night, is more small fundraisers to raise a smaller amount of money per fundraiser, and you cobble it together to get your programs. That's adapting. You know, the different programs. Note here, the gift cards to the food pantry you did. That's an excellent program. Excellent program. You know, a lot of what you're doing right now does seem to be food security related. That message I received last night. So you're adapting to what is the need of the community right now, and it's food. That in many cases, that's what it is. It's food and it's education. Those 2 things I say are prominent ones I see. You know, another thing I think of is Apollo 13. That was the ill-fated mission to the moon. They didn't make it and almost didn't make it back. And in the movie, excuse me, there's a scene where everything's going wrong. You know, all the voices, the chatter going back and forth from the capsule and ground control. You know, this isn't working, this isn't working, this is broken, on and on. And finally, there's a voice. I think it was the ground control commander, but he says, stop. Don't tell me what isn't working. Tell me what is working. There's a paradigm shift that happens here. Because we can sit and bemoan all day long what we can't do, but Rotarians are people of action. So that's not what we do. That's not who we are. We have our core values. We're people of action. So we start saying, what can we do? Now, of all the clubs I've gone to so far, I think you're right about the 30th, maybe the 28th, right in there. You're the first one that has an actual, during the meeting at least, expressed an actual program with Black Lives Matter. You know, you're doing the first step, which is education. 3 different speakers on Black Lives Matter topic. Who knows where it's going to go, but that's something you can do in a time like this, is education. Again, a great thing. The other club that is doing something I heard in a different vein is down in Petaluma Valley. They're having club discussions on it. So I know there's some interest. I know it's a politically charged topic, but I think it's also a socially relevant topic. And so I think it's a good thing that you're at least having these discussions to figure it out as a family. I want to shift a little bit to some district things. One, thank you, Barbara. You also are the first club that had an announcements, is a Zone Institute coming up. November 12th through 14th. It is virtual. It's open to all. It's only $49 to register for the event, and you'll have some great speakers. So I think it's worthy of checking out. You should have all received an email link to that event. District-wide, like clubs, we have committees, and we're always looking for good people that are interested in serving in the district. The time commitment is usually far less than what a club time commitment would be. But we have needs on the Interact Chair committee, the Public Image Committee, membership, and ethics is another one that I'm going to speak of, kind of a brand new initiative. District conference following this year, the next one, hopefully live, will be October 8 and 9 of 2021. So 13 months from now at the Doubletree in Roanoke Park. I want to bring one back so that people could go even just for a day to a district conference and experience what goes on there. So October 8 and 9 of 2021, Doubletree in Roanoke Park. We're going to open up Friday at lunch with a session open to not only Rotarians, but the public, and it will be on ethics in business. I already have an ethics committee that's up and working on this program, and if you're interested in ethics in business, would love to have you join. I think ethics is an important thing that we don't talk about enough as far as a value add to why a young business person would want to join Rotary. We know that integrity is one of our core values. We have the four-way test. We have the object of Rotary. Rotary began as an ethical vocational networking group. So it's part of who we are. And for somebody coming up in business that wants to align themselves with an ethical entity and have leadership training, they can sit in a normal environment anyway, can sit and have breakfast with people that have run businesses and run NGOs, and they can get free business advice from ethical people. That's a pretty good thing. You know, we've aligned ourselves, Rotary being we, with Toastmasters, and you can go onto the My Rotary website and you can start taking classes right now that Toastmasters have developed in public speaking, and there are many more to come out in business and leadership. So I think it's an important part of what we offer. So here's the plan. You probably have read the North Bay Business Journal and seen how they nominate your CEO as a great CEO to work for, or nominate a business as the best place to work. They have these polls. We're going to have nominate a business as an ethical business. It does not have to be a Rotarian's business. The website for this will be up very soon. I'm partnering with the North Bay Business Journal to do some advertising on this. Probably around January, nominations will open. They'll come in after several months closed, circle back with questions for the business nominated. Then at the October 8th, at Friday Luncheon 2021, awards will be presented. We'll bring in a really high-end speaker, whether it's a CEO of a corporation or an ethics professor from Stanford or Cal, something that is going to bring value to the business community to want to also come. And I'm hoping that this really showcases our alignment as an ethical organization with the business community. And we are open to sponsorships as well. So somehow if you think you'd like to sponsor an ethical business conference, not a bad thing, that'll be coming out soon, publicized. The other thing I want to talk about is foundation. Now, first I was looking at the numbers, and the Rotary Club of Sebastopol Sunrise was #1 last year in the district in annual fund giving, almost $65,000. That's for the annual fund. There are different buckets, but so you were #1 in the district. So congratulations for that. Thank you. Every year, a district governor sends out goals to the clubs. And if you do really well as a club, then you get a nice certificate that said you did really well as a club. Well, as Jack mentioned, I'm the VP of sales for companies, so I think we should play for money. And what I've done is we've set aside $7,500 of next year's district grant money to go as awards to the clubs that do well this year. Excuse me. I think the smoke has my throat bothered a little bit. we've divided the clubs into 3 categories: large clubs, medium clubs, and small clubs. I think you fall into the medium club category. So you're competing with clubs your own size. And then I have 5 questions on membership, community engagement, public image, leadership, and foundation. So there are 5 different categories you can win in: first, second, or third. $300, $150, or $50 extra district grant money next year for each of these categories. The foundation one is Rotary Direct Giving. Rotary, if you go back, I don't know, say 30, whatever, 40 years ago, you're talking about an organization that was made up of business owners or high-level managers. So by nature, they could write a $500 or $1,000 check to the foundation. Great cause, something they believe in, and they had the resources to do it. Well, over time, we've diversified as an organization, and that's a good thing. But that means we have a lot of members now that don't own businesses. And writing that $500 or $1,000 check might be a little bit of a challenge. The foundation annual fund has been going down in total asset value of late. And I think the way to combat that is Rotary Direct Giving. So the contest here is to get the highest percentage of your members on Rotary Direct Giving, not gross number, but percentage of club members on Rotary Direct Giving at a minimum of $20 a month. I don't think that's a big ask, $20 a month. So you just go on to My Rotary, you click donate at the top. Annual fund by default should be already selected. And then you click recurring, and you can choose to be either monthly, annual, quarterly, whatever's convenient for you. Put in your credit card number and you're done. Happens automatically. It does count towards your own personal Paul Harris and your club goal for annual fund. $20 is the minimum. You can do more. If you do, for example, $85 a month, you're in the Paul Harris Society. That means you're going to go over $1,000 a year. And you can honor someone every year, a friend, a family member, community leader, with a Paul Harris Award. This is what I would call thoughtful giving. You've thought about it, you've made a decision, it's important to you, and you select a dollar amount that works, $20 minimum, and away you go. And I think it's a great thing, especially in this shelter-in-place environment. I would imagine the foundation may be getting a little less recognition because we're not having everyone in meetings. But if we're on Rotary Direct Giving, it would keep going on. So that's my pitch on that, and that's my push for foundation this year is the Rotary Direct Giving. Well, last couple thoughts I want to leave you with is my view of the district administration. In my world, Rotary is a member club on up organization. So that means that you, the members in the clubs, are the most important people. That's where all the work happens. That's where all the money comes from. But that also means that the other side of the coin is district governor. I'm the least important person in this equation. My job for 1 year is to serve and support you to do the mission of serving your community in the world. I'm always open to hear from Rotarians. I'm in DACDB, my cell phone number, my email, my mailing address. So if you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, I'm always open to hear from you. And the other thing, remind you, is we are in trying times. So the quote that I'll leave you with is simple. When going through hell, don't stop. Keep your chin up, keep your feet moving, your hands doing. We are people of action. We have core values. We know who we are. And Sebastopol needs you now more than ever. So keep doing the good work you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Anybody have any questions for Doug? Comments? Discussion?
I actually had something to say. I really just, loved, I just really loved the whole presentation. And I just wanted to say that education is really key. My backstory is I'm an immigrant who didn't become a U.S. citizen until I was 9 years old. So my mom worked very hard to flee 2 civil wars to bring me to the U.S. So it's something near and dear to my heart, right? So with that being said, there is a book I'm currently reading. It's called The Sun Does Shine, and it's about this man. His name is Anthony Ray Hilton. Hinton, and he was on death row for 30 years in the South. And this happened in 1985. And it just kind of talks about his justice and like kind of what he went through and how he was on death row for a crime he didn't commit. And it kind of just talks about his journey and how he's a free man. And I think it's a wonderful read if anybody wants to read it.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, I will go back to sharing. There we are. So Michael Fells, who was number 24 for the wonderful Scratcher.
Well, the winner today is none other than Bill Schlutius.
Okay, Bill, I will scratch your card and let you know if you win anything. So far, they've been all a bust for this batch.
Barbara, I've been waiting for my $100,000 in the mail, but
Well, good luck. Don't hold your breath. I would love to see somebody get $100,000, and we would be right there with you with our hand out to help the Rotary Foundation and our club foundation, as you well know. And then, anyway, so I will scratch this off in a little bit with my trusty Rotary coin. I can't remember when I got this. It has the 4-way test on one side. And that's I've been using it to scratch these. So, Nick, do you have our way clean joke of the day for us?
I struggled to find an appropriate joke, but I think this will do, particularly for those who are in the audience who are parents. A teenage boy had just passed his driving test and inquired of his father as to when he could discuss the use of the car. His father said he'd make a deal with his son. You bring your grades up from C to B, average, study your Bible, and get your hair cut. Then we'll talk about the car. The boy thought about it for a moment and decided he'd settle for the offer, and they agreed on it. After about 6 weeks, the father said, "Son, you've brought up your grades, and I've observed that you've been studying your Bible, but I'm disappointed that you haven't cut your hair." The boy said, "You know, Dad, I've been thinking a lot about that, and I've noticed that in my studies of the Bible that Samson had long hair, and John the Baptist had long hair, and Moses had long hair, and there's even strong evidence that Jesus had long hair." The father replied, "Did you also notice that they all walked everywhere they went?"
Absolutely, I can relate to that one. So thank you, Nick. So Joe, take us away, please.
All right, there, President Barbara and all, here we go. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling on. Happy trails to you till we meet again.
See y'all next week, if not before. Have a good week.
Bye all.
Bye all.
Bye all.
Don't forget to stay on for the
Yeah, stay on for the Zoom workshop. Oops. Stop recording.
Got it?